Good everyone, you're welcome to today's today's seminar. Today's training, you can call it a boot camp just for a day. And we're at how to make 6 to 7 figures within 30 days using your brain. And we have our speaker here is Mr. Isaac Jesumbo. But before we proceed further, before I call him further, I would want to say a few things, about the digital space. Just as we know, the digital space is the real deal now, and it's where you can make so much money at the comfort of your home. You would realize that you have something to teach someone. People are willing to pay for the skill or pay for what you know, but it's just how you go about it. And this is what this training is set to address. So without wasting further time, I'll be inviting Mr. Isaac Jesumbo here to talk to us. You're welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good
Um, my
afternoon, sir.
name is my name is Isaac Jesumbo, and I will be taking this class how to make 6 to 7 figures with your brain within 13 days. Within 30 days, that's 1 month. Um, okay, in this particular broadcast, you're going to learn a lot. In fact, some of the things we're going to be learning here are what some of the gurus will charge for, but it's understandable. Um, so I'll start with how did all these things started? Like, how did I, what inspired me to come up with this topic? Um, okay, back then in 2018, yes, I wanted to work with somebody to design a website for him, and it happened that he started showing me a lot of things concerning digital marketing, and it was just based on the free, like not like it went deeper, but I was just seeing things that were wow me. Like, I saw a guy that was making $10,000 per day. Yeah, it's very difficult to even the whites even do argue it sometimes. They argue with the guy. But that's the reason why most of these guys, when they make the money, they don't usually come online to talk about it, because people will not believe them. And when people are when people overwhelm me with this unbelief of a thing, and um, they're trying to down talk what you know, you might, if you listen to them too much, you might start to downplay yourself and feel like maybe you are someone strange, or that stuff happened by luck and all stuff. And the moment you encounter a little problem, you feel like, yes, I think they were right. So that's the reason why these guys um don't usually talk about these things. They do. Some of the millionaires that we know, that are here on earth, are secret millionaires, secret billionaires in dollars, millionaires in dollars, billionaires in dollars. We don't usually, they're not the guys, most of them, they don't have the courage to come out. So I saw many things that wowed me then. And one of those things I saw is a Nigerian guy, which um is known for his the impact he has made in internet business and the digital space. So his name is Precious Ungud, if I pronounce it very well. So this guy was the real, what do I call it? Is the real motivation behind how I started my journey in the digital space. Because all along I've been doing website designing since about since 2015, because I learned website designing around 2015, before I got admission. So I was like, the reason why I even had that in mind was because I wanted to get admission to school, and I was looking like, okay, what will I start to do? How do I make money online? How do I make money in school? Why not? I don't want to be depending on my parents because I know our pockets. I know where I'm coming from. So by with the help of my mom, we're able to persuade my dad to pay for somebody that's going, and that money that we even paid not as if it was out of abundance. So it was a sacrifice. So I had to pay the person, and I went to Lagos to stay with my uncle, and that was how I learned website designing. So all along around 20, when I got admission, I was first faced with challenges like not having a laptop or not having a smartphone. I was using this small phone that we what do they call itself? The Nokia Touch. That Nokia Touch, I think it was somebody that gave it to me. Somebody that gave it to me. So it was that bad, and so it happened along it happened all along like that, and I didn't I wasn't getting a client. Of course, nobody who wants to. When you call yourself a website designer, you don't have a laptop. So sometimes I use the laptop I brought in was very, let's say, I'll call it the kind of olden days one, like it's a very big one, and most of the time when I bring it out, my colleagues laugh at me, and so I abandoned it. And plus, the laptop had the battery issue. Now, I want to clarify is that I made a mistake by abandoning the laptop because people were making jest of me. That was my first mistake, which I later realized after I'd suffered for it. Because when I abandoned it, the laptop now even eventually got spoiled. Somebody spoiled it, and I couldn't identify who the person was because I left it abandoned. So that was how those things kept on happening, and I didn't have a client. Now by 2017, after 2 solid years, so I now struggled to get a laptop. And even that laptop I got it very, very cheap. I got it 15,000 naira. At that time, it was a student. I bought it from a guy, and in fact, I thought the laptop had a problem. It didn't have the laptop didn't have a real problem except for battery problem, and it was still good. So I was able to use the laptop, and that also as I got the laptop, I started building websites, building templates, downloading templates, editing, and storing them in my laptop so that when I have a client, I'm going to show it to them as one of my existing projects. And I keep on getting people. Sometimes I get people, sometimes I don't get people. But whenever I get a prospect, I usually see that they don't buy, they don't eventually pay. Some of them will say, okay, they've gotten somebody to do it for them. The price is too much. They've gotten somebody to do it for them at five thousand. It was very funny. I was like, 5,000. How? I was trying to just wrap my brain out of this thing. So now all these things were happening, and I didn't know how I'm going to. So I was very, very broke. So what I was trying to avoid later happened. I don't have money. I was depending on when my parents would send me money, um, depending on family and friends to send me money sometimes. So that was what I was just doing, and people around me were also helping out. Yes, I can't forget the fact that my roommates really play a vital role in my um in how I survive in that school. Days of free food, days of free clothes, shoes, and stuff like that. So it went on like that. And now when I came across this man, and he was saying that okay, he wants to design a website, I was happy. that okay, we're going to eventually I'm going to have somebody that's going to I'm going to design a website for. And now that particular time when he told me, it wasn't like I was happy, but it wasn't like a big deal because it looked like the usual, which they will just ask, and after so much, they will still tell you no, they can't do it again. So it kept on happening like that. So I was like, okay, when I got this, I said, okay, let me see if this I really change something or it's it's not the usual way that I used to get it. Meanwhile, I designed the only website I designed for somebody was before that time was a project I did for a senior college, and that was I charged him very low because I didn't hold the website and I was just doing it because I was hungry. So it's a very ridiculous price I will not call. So I now this man that was how I came across this man called Precious Ngu, and I read his story, his background story. In fact, it was a sales page that transformed me. Imagine the course, how what the course will look like. I look at the sales page because the man told me he bought the course from him 30K as at then, that he wants to show me this particular guy, what he does and stuff like that. So I went to his sales page and I read about him. Now reading about the sales page now made me now motivated me. Now what motivated me about the sales page, that the man was also someone, I don't know if it was equally like me, or but he had similar issues where he doesn't have a rich parents, his dad was sacked, and they were all living in a one room apartment with about 6 or 5 people in the family. So it continued like that, but this particular guy was a brilliant guy and he has an interest in computer. So when it kept on happening like that, and he usually to go to cafe to do something. He was trying his effort to learn how to make money online, and it made me remember when I also used to save money. I saved money to go to cafe then. I don't know how I'm going to make the money, but I just believed in that my money is coming from the internet. I just believed it because since the day my dad told me, I don't know if it was that the only time, but I can't remember what really prompted me to start thinking there's money on internet, because as at that time which when I was thinking this thing, many people believe that there's no money on internet. They don't really believe in internet, and the ones that know that there's money on internet, they will say it is Yahoo. So that time is, yeah, it's Yahoo. So, and when one of those days when my daddy was talking about one of his friends' experience, how God changed the life of this man. Then he mentioned that this man was able to. One of these days, is just the man is a very also a very wretched man, and you know he now said he was just going somewhere and he saw the person inside a car. So when you didn't expect someone like that, you will not think he's the one. So the man came out and was running after him and to say, Pastor, Pastor, ah, it's me. He mentioned his name and was like, are you like he was just trying to think, maybe he was dreaming. So he got out and the man took him to his company, and it was okay. Maybe God has finally answered his prayer and is now working in a company. But to his surprise, the man owns the company. The man owns the company. So he told me. So he now asked him how far. What's happened. So the man told him how he was able to get connection with somebody from abroad, and that's how his life changed. He was selling charcoal to these white men. So that's how his life changed. And I was like, so there's money on internet. So that testimony alone was one of the, if it was not the one that prompted me to start believing that, but it was one of the um that particular this thing that I held on to, and I was so passionate about it. So I used to go to cafe to that time. I save money and I trek miles to go to a cafe under hot sun just because I believe I will make my money from internet. And I kept that belief on for so long, and just like this guy Precious Sungu, it kept up happening like that. And I didn't, just like him, he said, all of those things you usually do, there's no real one, it's just all scam, scam, scam. So I also was scammed of my time because I don't have money that they will scam, but time, like fake promises online. They tell you, okay, if you invite somebody, they will give you so and so money. So what the so I was just jumping at this thing. Once they say seminar or anything, I was not able to do seminar, but some of these scams, most of these scams are from white guys. The fake promises, and they were just trying to drive people to they are trying to drive traffic to their website. So I couldn't understand what they were doing, how they were going to do it. So I actually left that. It's tough for a while because even around that time when I was trying to make that money, people around me were saying that, oh, this thing there is not real, it's not real. That what am I even doing, sir? So around 2018, not as if I stopped from that time to 2018, no. It continued. I used to do midnight sub. In fact, they call me night sub because I used that time it was 25 naira when I used to do give 50 MB. Was it 50 MB? No, 500 MB. Sorry, 500 MB. They give 500 MB per in the night. So I browse throughout the night from 12 to 5 a.m. 5 a.m. for 4:30, something like that. So I usually browse, and most of those days it was blogging like that stormed across. So that's even another story for another day. So let me skip to when the guy was frustrated after many times he has been trying to make money, and he said, so one of these days he asked somebody, okay, how do one make money online? And that particular thing he said was what shifted my mindset. And one thing I used to tell my some of my students when I the ones I have taught is that money, it has to do with your mindset. For you to be rich, your mindset needs to be changed. Now you can be a rich guy, but your account might be empty. Yeah, that might sound strange. And you might be a poor guy, but your account is heavy. But there's one thing that will usually play before it will start with your mindset. Now, the ones that is poor, that is account is full, will definitely have an empty account one day, and it will really portray who he really is. And the person who is poor, who is rich but has an empty account, will definitely have a full account one day. So this guy said that for you to make money online, you have to sell something. I ponder on that word, like for you to make money online, you have to say something. So it kept on ringing, and I read the remaining part of the story, but that particular line. So he said, okay, from there he now picked out an idea. Okay, he has this skill of how to repair computers. So he wrote a book on it, a simple guide on what people can do by themselves, instead of taking their phones, their systems to engineers, the engineer, quote unquote, every time. So he designed that. He wrote that ebook, and he charged 1,500 for it. And because of that, he, after he finished that, he was not trying to sell. That's another part of it. There's one thing to write, oh, there's one thing to sell. So he tried to sell the book, and he wasn't making sales, but he continued. Now, the first day he made 1,500. That's to make the first sales. He was very, very happy. It has happened to me before too, that when I'm going to get there too, where I also wrote my book after reading the story. So that story prompted me to write my first book, um, how to abi is it learning HTML programming language in 12 days or something like that. It's on Google though, on Amazon. So the first sale I made was from my friend. I was also happy. Like somebody really paid me for something. I wow, this is great. So I though I believe somebody can pay, but there's this reality. It's just the same way when you say I believe in miracle, and there's another kind of belief that comes when you see somebody, like you see a koro miracle like this. You see somebody that is blind and sees in your presence. So that's the same way it is. Not as if you don't believe that you can make money, but there's this kind of another level of belief that wow, so I really made this money. So that was what um it felt like. So the guy said he was very happy when he made his first 1,500, and that was it continued like that, it continued and continued like that. And now it was because now after that time he started making more sales. And by the time he before that time, because it was 15 years that time, before he turned 16, he was able to make 1 million naira as at 2009, 2009, 2008 or 2009. Now this guy, a 15 years old or 16 years old guy making 1 million naira that time, is a motivating story. Many people might say, oh, it's a scam, lie. Check on the internet, you see there. Precious Ugu, you search him on Google, you see the story there. So now this particular guy, from there he started making more money, of course, and became he has won several awards online. Now one thing I would need to point out is that this making money, the first sales you make will will definitely lead you to another sale. Why? That's why somebody said making 1 million is hard, but after making your first 1 million naira, you it will be very easy to make other millions of naira or other millions, like my millions of naira or dollars. But I guess it's a white guy that told us that made that statement. I'm just using naira because I'm used to naira. I need to I need to remove my message for this naira stuff. So now, the reason why I said that is because as you keep on moving, most of these things that have been taught or you have been listening to, or people are saying, most of these things are not things that will just happen in a day. That's one of the problems that's one of the mistakes people are making. You think once you make a big uh, amount of commitment in terms of money, you pay 50,000 naira, 100,000 naira for a course, and you think because of the person is a guru that has been teaching for ages, that means you make the money immediately. No, no, you have to put in effort. And don't forget that there are also times dance and fall in these things you are doing. So you have to endure. You have to endure. I will just tell you the fact. I'm a very plain guy. I'm not the one that will tell you that. Oh, you start making money like my friend made 20,000 naira with WhatsApp only just in one group. Yeah, it's possible. Yes, I've heard, and I've experienced some, but I will not tell a newbie who has not yet practiced, or so even some people are not even newbie. Like someone like me. I've had this knowledge, but I was just doing patch and patch and patch. I didn't have really good base of this knowledge. The fundamental, the the main cocoa of these things that make someone rich. I didn't know them. So now if I'm going to tell anybody I'm going to teach for the first time, you're going to face accountants here. You're going to this is but the reason why you're going to be buying this course is because it's going to make your journey very very easy. So that's how I explain to people. So this this guy from there, he became also now not only an African award winner, also an international award winner. um that's who Pressure Ugu is a phenomenon. So I searched I read the story and I was inspired. I wrote my book, which I told you, and my friend was the first person that bought my book, and I think, was it the only person? I can't remember if it was the only person that bought the book. So the um that book now opened door. That's one of the reasons why. The reason I'm telling you all these stories is because I'm driving to a point which I want you to learn something in in this thing you're going to be learning here. It's not something that is quite usual or you've heard more about, even in some of the speed class, because they are the fundamentals. If you know these things, you might not be might not be buying every shiny object you see online. You might just see them and say, okay, okay, they are trying, but it's not meant for you. Yeah, that's just the truth. It's not meant for you. So, mind you, I'm also selling products, many, but it will not hold me from telling people the fact. If you don't need my course, I will just better I just leave you than cajoling you that okay you need it. Then eventually you find out that you don't even need it. So this particular thing we're going to be talking about is going to save you from buying every shiny object that you see online. It's going to save you from buying every shiny object that you see online. So I now that particular book now brought me to the limelight, and when I made the post about it, people were very very surprised. Okay, one thing I need to also clarify is that Precious Ugu is one of the biggest name in Jevizo. If you know about Jevizo, you know him. He's a top vendor award. He won an award around 2015 and 2016. So you should know that this particular guy I'm talking about, Jevizo is not a product for only Nigerians. It's not a product for only Ghanaians, Indians. It's international, and this guy also teach the white how to market. So, in fact, if I tell you a lot of things about him, how much and how fast he made money, you might not believe. So I don't know what to do. I don't want to even say some of these things. So let's move ahead along to now. When I wrote the book, even though I made, because of my low marketing skill that time, I made only one sale from that book. I can't remember, like I said, if I sold another another copy of the book, but I I only made one sale that I can remember. But because of that book, somebody saw my post, and a friend of mine that has been, or doing my friend list, and we know each other physically too. So it's not about now. This guy chatted me and like, okay, wow, how can he get this book? And I told him. Then I told him he was not asking some questions. I asked him, okay, why do you? Because the way he was asking question, I need to ask him, why do you need the book? So he said, okay, he wants to build a website. I said, if you want to build a website, you don't have to buy this book, because if you buy this book, you will have to you it will take you time. But I will sell the book to you, but it will take you time before you finish learning all those things in the book. And what I wrote in the book is about HTML. You need other programming language, which some people don't even count HTML as programming language. So you need to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and all that to complete your own kind of website that you want to build. So it's going to take a long distance. I just give me this work and I do it for you. That was how I got my first website designing job I got. I've ever had. Even though the pay was not good, but I was happy. At last, I broke that course, that chain. So I designed the website, and from the money I got from the website, I was able to build my own website too as at then. So that was the first breakthrough. I was very happy. Wow, this guy. And people were like, wow, you have a website. Wow, this is great. This guy is very that increased my should I call it prestige also. So people begin to believe in me, and okay, this guy really knows what he's doing. Because people want to patronize you. This is for somebody. People want to patronize you, but they don't really know if they can handle their money into your hands. And so you can't just convince them by saying, I know how to do it, I know how to do it. Sometimes you need to show sample, and one of the best ways by having your own product on that particular thing you do. So um I will not bore you with my stories. And from there I started hosting classes, and I started doing some making money online. Now, before that time when I was quite broke, I usually used to wonder why how people used to make money. And I heard many people I heard some, let me not say many, some do money rituals, some do some sell their kidneys. So I can't sell my kidney, neither can I make do money ritual. So I had to start doing something, which is I started making money from my brain. Now, this is the secret. This is not about maybe I sold my brain, or inserted a chip into my brain, or no. It's about, I'm going to explain it better here. I'm going to explain. But before I do that, I'm going to talk about how do you make money? What is that? What makes a man poor? What makes a man poor? Like I said before, what makes a man poor is mindset. Is mindset. Is mindset. His inability to keep money, inability to put to go after things that really matters. It's because many people don't know this thing, so they just, okay, I want to make money, I want to make money. And you want, why I don't really like dealing with those kind of people is that they will blame you for their failure. Yes, they will blame you for their failure. They will start thinking this thing you said no work, or what happened. Meanwhile they are the real cause of the problem, because they don't know what the fundamental of what they need to know. And these are the things I'm trying to break down, because I was also in, I might not really be in that shoe, but I've experienced abject poverty before, and I don't want anybody to be in that lane again. So I'm trying to bring out what really makes people um poor. Many people say, okay, a poor man is someone that does not have money. Okay, they see somebody that is wearing a maybe a better cloth, or not too good kind of wears, and they start saying this person is poor. No, a a poor man is not someone that does not have money. Like I said, a poor man is a man with a poor mindset. Somebody that believes money is scarce. No money, money no dey anywhere. Oh. Money no dey. Nah, that's a poor man talking. Now, I'm not saying that someone that has plenty money, or people. Well, I'm not saying that people that have plenty money in their account are poor. No, I'm not saying that. I'm only saying that people that might seem to have money but have a poor man mentality. But then, in fact, there's no way you have money with your poor man mentality. The only way is that either you are being spoon fed by somebody that has money. You don't have the money. A rich man is not a poor. It's not a rich man's child. It's not a rich man himself. Until he knows what his father knows that makes him rich, he himself is not a rich man. He's just under the influence of his father's rich money. So until you are qualified, you have this qualification of a rich mindset, before I can regard you as a rich man. You can be buying things, buying facades and everything, because as time will tell, the only ones that usually escape through are people that, as long maybe as they keep on going and they keep on seeing their parents, they eventually have this rich man mentality. It's even quite hard to be surrounded among rich people and not have a rich man. But I'm saying this because many people, some of them don't still have this rich man mentality. So um meanwhile, a rich man also has like I said, a poor man is someone that has a poor mentality. A rich man is someone that has a rich mentality. So someone that has lack of ideas, vision, doesn't have ability to identify value, purpose, misunderstanding of money, and wealth principle. All those things will make you rich, make you poor. So it's not about the money in your account. The money in your account is a mirror. It's a mirror of what you have in your mindset. The money you have in your account is a mirror of what you have in your mindset. It will reflect later. And if you don't have anything to, it will still reflect later. So now this is how to overcome money scarcity. You have to first understand what is money. What is money? That's what you need to first understand. Money is a store of value. So why I used to talk about value, for people that have been in my class or my free class or have seen my posts on Facebook, I usually talk about um being poor, giving value to be rich. For you to be rich, you have to give value to people. I used to talk about it very well. The reason is because value is what makes you rich. Money is not what makes you rich. Money is a reward for the value that you are giving to people. So money is a store of value itself. Now let me even, for people that might be arguing or might be saying that, okay, what is he saying? Those days when our forefathers were spending, not they don't have money, you will notice that they still had rich men. So what do you think made them rich? Do you think it was the paper note or the coins you are taking up and down? No. What made them rich was their understanding on value. Even though some of them did it out of ignorance, but the wise one among them, they knew it as it is the value that makes people rich. For example, those days they don't have money, so they want to buy. If I want to buy banana, for instance, I might take. I have maize. Let's say, for instance, 4 maize equals um, 1 bunch of banana. Let's say that's the value. So they are exchanging products in regards to the value of the product. So if a maize worth 2 banana, they will now calculate it. How many maize will give me a bunch of banana? So it is the worth of the maize that brings them much banana. So if they want to make more money, they'll go to, like, they go online. I say they go online, they go to market and take their goods there. The other ones to bring their goods and they exchange and they go back home. So what they have much is what makes them rich. The land. Even people that want to buy, that want to sell land, they take loads of of goods, precious stones, gold, silver, jewelries, and they put it together. So the owner of the land now say, okay, this thing worth so number of gold. Gold itself is not money. For people that might be saying, well, okay, what is gold? Gold is not money. Diamond is not money. All these things are natural resources which were placed on value. So those things they will measure that, okay, how many coins of gold will worth a plot of land. So when after as time went on, they started looking at using gold, using precious stones or gold, and because of the way people were reacting to that, because it was even till now, if you bring out gold now, if you have a golden chain, you need to have bouncers around it, because some people are ready to cut off your neck to get that chain. So that's to show you how much value people place on gold, and how much they are willing to sell it. So you can take a diamond that looks like a stone, that's as small as a stone, as a tiny stone, and take it to people that sell jewelries, and they tell you, okay, this particular diamond worth this also thousands of naira, millions of naira, and so on, just because of the value of that thing. So what is your value? What particular thing do you bring to the table for people to give you money? If you have been going to places and be asking people to give you money, what can you offer them? That is what makes you rich. What can you offer them? That now I never got into how to even make money from it, but let's not even start with that. What can you offer people to make you rich? So you need to first know that it is not the money, amount of money, because money that you have in your pocket will go. I was reading somebody's post, a guy that I also respect, and also he's also a guru in this field. He was talking about how he had about how his money was wiped away because he loves saving, and he doesn't like spending, and his phone was stolen and the money was wiped away. Everything, everything. The what made him poor because of the money was lost. What made him poor is because the money was not busy doing anything for him. The money was not outside. It was just indoor. In fact, he didn't even spend money on doing anything. He said it was just like saving, save. Another person was talking about how she was also robbed of 2.5 or 2.3 million naira. So with time, now I'm not saying this mischievous things happen to these guys because they have poor mindset also, but this is a good example that money is not the one, because money can fly away anytime, but your value will stay with you. Your value will stay with you. Your value will stay with you. Except let's say that's why I'm talking about brain. Except you lose your senses, that you don't remember that thing that makes you rich. So now, but this guy admitted that because what he wrote now, I sense that he has some problem with mindset then, but his mindset has really changed now. So that's why it's also a thought leader in this line. He has also taught a lot of people. Now this particular thing usually happen to people that think money. You have heard stories now. You've heard stories of how some of our parents, of our fathers talk about how they have money. I have a similar story my dad told me about his grandfather who used to be rich then, and because they were villagers. So when during that time of our current president, when he was the president then, he he ordered that they should change the currency. So the changing of the currency was one of those things that spoiled this man's money. And I guess maybe from the village to wherever they are changing the money, they were unable to meet up with the time before the money became useless, whatever this thing. But the story was that the money was in store and they were not able to, and the money lose value because the government said they are not using this money again. So one of those things that makes money valuable is because the federal government are the ones that are strengthening it. So money, you have to understand how money circulates first before you even talk about how you want to make money. So why money is the paper note, or why money is popular, or is one we regard most is because it's popular, convenient, and universally accepted. So it's not the only store of value. In fact, some of these precious stones are also store of value too. But money is convenient. You can't be carrying gold up and down. You can carry money and buy gold and keep somewhere. If you want to use your gold, you want to get your money back, you sell the gold again and get money again. That's value. So the I've watched documentary of a rich a rich millionaire in dollars though, a white guy that talks about they gave him a challenge. And what was the challenge? The challenge was very, in fact, a very tough challenge. Is that he will be poor, like he's going to go to another country where they don't know him, and when he gets to that place he will be stripped naked except his boxers, without shoe, without anything, and that you need to start up. And the average income they make in that particular place is $3,000. You need to start off from nothing. Yeah, it doesn't have money, like nothing, to where you now have money. You need to make that $3,000 before you leave that place, before 24 hours. And the challenge began. And you couldn't believe the man made that 3,000 this thing. Now what was he doing? He from trying to beg. One thing that was trying to beg to people, was trying to beg people and for them to give him money, and nobody was giving him money. So he went somewhere to a shop and said, okay, he doesn't have much, but he can then give him something that he can start doing. So they gave him a little soap. This soap is $1. People just, just to wash hand and other things that the soap does. And he started advertising the soap. Then he went somewhere, okay, I don't have much with me, but I have this soap to give you. This soap can do this, can do this, can do that. Can you just give me one, is it €1 or so? $1 or euro. I've forgotten the currency. And they gave him that soap. And they gave him the money. And from the money he saw somebody doing using rope to perform some like not magic but some art, this thing, over then this thing, they gather around people that usually have talent, and they start contributing money to the person. So he also went to go and buy rope and did some things and entertain people too. And also made, this is life, like it's YouTube. It was his YouTube, it was his video, this thing that was going along with this thing. So I don't know if they have another, but most of these things that happen there, I believe, even if all were not true, 80%, because we are seeing the how it was playing. And let me not bore you with the story. The truth is that he was able to sell a home and within that 24 hours, because that was his business. So they were, because he has been challenged many times that he's not good at a claims and everything. So one of his students gave him that challenge. That it was a very tough challenge, and he made it within that period of time. Just few hours before that 24 hours, was able to make that say. That's how that's to show you that even a poor man, if he becomes very poor today, he might rise tomorrow because he knows what makes him rich, and he can easily attain that at his back. So the this particular this that's why sometimes you have uncles, you have people that are rich, and you go to their house and they tell you they don't have money. You think they're lying, because you have been programmed that money is what make people rich. So you are seeing the house, you are seeing this thing, you are thinking, this person has money now, why is he doing me like this? You even see that they even, when you are even sitting there, they serve you very good food, like a very delicious food, and you saw a lot of things they put on the food, and they are telling you there's no money. So how on earth would you, so how are you going to believe that? The reason is because you, as a poor man, you don't have the mindset they have. The mindset is different from yours. They don't have money, but they have things that's giving them money. That's what you should know. So now let's move to how to. There are three dimension of weight. Let me quickly highlight that. The first one is the first one is transactional weight. Transactional weight is when you, let's say you have a skill, you can draw. Yes, I draw. So let's say you can draw, and you have some people that, let's say you that admire your works, people that wants to put their they want to have their design, their work on a wallpaper or on, on this frame, and you do that. You can even, in fact, you can even start drawing with your with a white board or cardboard or this thing. I even do draw on cardboard, and with that you making start selling, even if it is just 1,000 naira. Start giving to plenty people. And you can also be someone that, like, for example, you can also know how to cook, and you teach people how to make a certain food, and you gather them together. There are many women that wants to cook. They want to know how to cook because of the slave queens are taking away their husband with good food. So they want to know how to cook. They gather around you and learning. They start learning. So you can easily teach these people how to cook, and they will start paying you. And that is traditional weight. So you can, let's say you charge 1,000, 2,000 for your class. You gather like 10 people, that's about 20,000 within the class. That's for traditional weight. The other one is called transformational weight. Transformational weight is when you would now say, okay, I don't want to draw this thing with for price. I want to do it for free. So you do some, just pick, but you just pick at random. Now this time around you're not obliged to anybody, just do it for free. So you can decide to take one and design by yourself and give out to people. And people say, wow, this is great. Ah, wow, this. So you can also decide to gather these people and teach them how to cook for free. Now where you make money there is that it's just like this, the way the format that pastors used to, or the I'm not saying that this is how they plan it, but this is just the kind of way that it looks like to me. Traditional ways, they don't charge you to come into the church, except for the that and offering, which is optional for you. But when they pray for you and solve your spiritual problem, you will feel in debt to give something out and say, ah, this person gave value to me. I need to appreciate the person. So one of those people that you taught how to cook food can come back and say, wow, I learned this from you. Wow, this is great. Okay, I have a big this thing event coming up. Can you handle this part? And gives you a contract that is worth more than 20,000 people that you should have even charged. Is worth the project, the contract can be worth millions of naira. And it does not mean that you cannot get this same contract for people that you charge. Oh. But the reason is because it's free, many people will attend. And your light to be shown to more people. That is for traditional weight. The other one is called surveying weight. This one is like, let's say, weight from God. Is it requires discerning times and season, and you quickly acting in missionary obedience. So you need to know when and where. So for those people that might say they don't believe in God and everything, okay, but you need to study the time, that this particular product used to come up, and this price is to things that affect it. Forex traders used to know this very very well, and this is why this particular idea I learned it from one of these guru forex trader, Sir Olufunkeji, sorry, Ejimi, Sir Ejimi. I know you must have heard about this. You must have heard this name before. So I learned it from him. Now, how do you make money from your brain? This is what you have been waiting for. Okay. Out of this dimension I talked about, how to you traditional wealth, transformational wealth, and sovereign wealth. The one I know that it's faster and you make money easily from is um the traditional wealth, the first one which I mentioned. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce things very faster. There's a word that if I pronounce it just didn't sound very. So the first one is that's transactional wealth. Yes. Now this transactional wealth is quite easy to make money from because it is you that you give me money, I give you value, or you bring money, I deliver the value to you. That's it, just straight away. There's no, because the transformational ways which I was talking about, that one can take time. In fact, it takes a lot of time. Sometimes people don't usually even recommend, they don't come back and say, this person has done good for me. Sometimes people are that this thing. But the first one makes money faster because even if it is one person that buys from you, you know that yes, I owe this particular thing. I owe this. So what do? You have a particular skill that you know. Hello, are you people hearing me? Hello? I need to be sure before I keep on talking and nobody's listening.
Oh, yes, sir, we're paying attention.
Okay, okay. So
Yes.
these people are they have a problem which they need you to solve, and this problem is what will make you the money which you want. So this is how you make money from the knowledge you have. Now it's what sometimes people usually say that okay, what I know is not a is not a big deal. Like, do you think it's not a big deal? In fact, sometimes it's more like an experience you've had before, things you've encountered. You can even have, there are people that talk about confidence now, how to, and that is, I know of a lady, yes, we call her confident doctor, and that's her niche. And I mean, she has dominated that niche, like she's baba of the of the niche, because everybody knows as a confidence doctor. Because now what you think might be a slight, or you just know what's confident that people want to pay money for, and she took it and turned it to a big deal. And people that have this problem, the one thing about it is that people have this problem but they don't think they have a problem, and until you, I was telling somebody that until you magnify it and show it to them and rub it on their face, then you provide a solution to them. So this is how you make your money. You don't have to allow people to start um telling you, okay, you don't have to allow people to start taking chances or doing that same thing which you have belittled before you now pick it up. You have to pick it up and start working on it. It is your own it is your um your own way of making money. That is your value. That is your value. Another person made a product of how he was able to maintain high grades in school. And guess what? Parents want their children to be brilliant. So they bought this product from this guy. And so say even he recorded this thing. And the guy was able to convince them, and he made a lot of money from that. Yes, he made a lot of money because he knew his value, and he didn't belittle it. So sorry for that. So he didn't belittle is what he knows, and that's how he. I have a lot of people. People you want okay, do want to talk about earth? We have people that talk about. So what is that thing you think you know? In fact, people teach about baseball. So what do you think you know that is very simple? It's so simple now. You know, you are brilliant. You know, you are able to maintain first class from year one to final year, and you still don't see that as big deal. People are some people are dying to. They will not prove to you. They will not tell you that they want to have it. People are dying. Some parents want their children that have not even entered university to be able to maintain you this good grace, and you are saying it's not a big deal. Oh, you need to wake up. Turn those knowledge to course. It can be an ebook, it can be an audio that you record, it can be a video that you record. You don't need to tell you everything. Turn this course into turn these things, your knowledge into course, and make money from it. Turn it to products, make money from it. People make in fact, I don't want to tell you a lot of things. Now let me even give you some instance. Some people make product on how to enlarge one's boobs, how to enlarge buttocks, how to hijack someone's husband. These are real products. Oh, I'm not saying I've seen it. I've seen the somebody made a screenshot of it, and people were talking. That's their own. That's their own. Even when people were still dragging these people and saying why are they selling this course, as they are doing that, a lot more people are seeing the course and they are interested and they are coming and to buy. So they will not come in online and say I'm buying this social product. It's secretly they are making they are making a lot of sales. You who is selling, who you think like you are selling a good or you have a good knowledge about something, why don't you want to make money from it? You have people that are making pimples. You are able to maintain your clear face from your teenage to your useful age, and it's still your face is still glowing. Why can't you start making a course on that, on what people can start doing? You can even produce a cross from that. You have can I keep on mentioning these things? So you need to start, make up a particular, think about it. What do you know? Think about it, write it down. Write it down. So now I now one of those things I because when I was trying to explain this thing to one of my students, and he was telling me, I can't, how do I make this thing? This is too big. This and that. So I said, okay, okay, I will do something for you. I will create a course on this. So it was like, bad, bad. So I've seen another money again. I said, no, it's because I've seen I've seen that you need this particular thing. That is it. Once you notice a problem, you have people that have the problem. A lot of people are having difficulty on how to create this course, what it entails. So if you go online, many people are telling them, sell your knowledge, and it's more like a motivational talk. People are asking, how do we sell this knowledge you are talking about? How do we? They don't know. So these people are not telling you everything. And a lot of people um that are saying it, what they are charging is not a small, it's not a child's play. I've heard about 20k, 40k, and people are charging 20k, 40k, 50, and so on for this same course, or on how to sell your knowledge. Because you don't just wake up and say, except you want to be like me that will sell only one course, only one book, and will go and sleep. You have do you know the effort I used to create that thing? It was this particular product is not a child's play, right? It's not a child's play. I created it. I use weeks. Yes, more than 1 week. The first product more than 1 week to create this particular product, and I ended up creating it and only one person bought it. Even though I that book opened doors of opportunity for me, I was able to. I don't know if I've said it before, but I was able to teach people online from different part of the world, from India, from Pakistan, from different parts. I can't remember this, but I have I have the one of my Pakistan friends still there with me, and I still get to work with some of them for a little while, So now this is what, even though I wasn't able to sell much, this is what I got from it. Now I didn't stop from that. Since then I've been able to make more and more and more courses, from WhatsApp to uh, a lot of medium I've used to make money from selling what I know, what I know, what I know. So if one thing I used to say is that money has a formula. If you know your formula, if you go broke today, you come back to that same drawing board, you'll be able to get what you are um what you are able to achieve before. You're going to get it. That is why I said the poor, the rich man mentality, being a rich person starts from your mentality. Your mentality is the mirror. So I was able to, I was able to get that because of what I have, the value. Now the value is inside you. You now need to bring it out. Some of you do have problem on how to distinguish which of them because you have many. Some of you you still have the problem of if the value is worth paying for. Some of you don't know which of them to even do. Some of you don't know how to um, start selling these products because there's one thing to make it. Let me not, except you want family and friends to start purchasing from you. And family and friends will not purchase. Like I said, they'll just say, "It's our child. Hey, buy for me, buy for me." The only time maybe they just encourage you, they buy only one. Most of the times, families and friends don't usually do that. It's only people that don't know it that will start buying from you. Because then themselves might even be looking at you and be saying, "So you are the one creating cause you of all people," because they believe a poor man believes that you have to be rich before you start doing great things. So that's not true. So you need to pick this up. That's why I created a course tag how to make 6 to 7 figures within 30 days with your brain, with your brain, even when you are sleeping, even when you are sleeping. Now, everything I'm going to, if you listen to this broadcast or the video, if you any of them that you're any medium which you are using to listen to this thing right now, you might be thinking, okay, if editor, okay, blah blah, you just go and start creating it. Don't be like me. Don't be. I was foolish. Don't be like me, because I just listened to you and started picking. Now I wasn't able to make any money from it except for that 4,000 which I made that time. One time I sold it. What if I what if I was able to start selling much of these things and I was able to sell 10? Do you know that that's 40k? My brother and my sister, I will not be broke again. I will not be broke again. As at that time when I know, do you know what like now this is 40k without maybe removing money for something. This is just money coming like so that is exactly what it looks like. Now that time the currency was around that was I sold that course for $12. That's 4.2. So the guy was paying small small, so he paid 4k. And he wanted to pay 200 later. I just didn't. It's 200. Let's leave it. That's so now let's say I sold to 10 people, 20 people. That's freaking I'm sorry for using the word freaking. But that's about let me calculate very well. Um 4 4,200 times 20 people, that is 84,000 naira. If I have 84,000 naira around 2018, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about me. I will be a big boy by now. If I have, okay, let's say, okay, I don't want to be too, I don't want to exaggerate too much. I just say five, that is 21,000. At that point where I was then, I will not be I will start. In fact, I will start living like because for me to make 20,000 and 21,000 naira as at that time. This time I was talking about, I didn't have. I was even living on somebody because this my friend was the one that God used and was like a God sent to me. He was the one feeding me day and night. I'm not laughing. Day and night. Like I eat in the morning. It's still. In fact, I started feeling ashamed because before this guy says, guy, don't do. Come dey go house. So Now, if I was able to get 21 then, I know how much will feed me and this guy that will still remain. And I will also have enough, and it will also even improve, and it will also make me to be able to make much more money because I'll be encouraged by selling a product and I want to do more again. This is what I'm talking about. So now imagine selling 10 and so on. Now let's stop imagining. Now how do you do this thing? I create a course which will do everything for you just for 1,000 naira. 1,000 naira. I know many people have let me say some people have reached out to me and said things like, guy, this price you are giving is too small. I really feel, in fact, the day I published this thing, maybe the second day or so, somebody was making a post online, was indirectly, I knew what was for me. Because the person was indirectly talking about people that are making product and charging 1K and everything. He was talking about, I know those things. I just decided that there are a lot of people that will not be able to have the privilege to have more than that. So if you're not for 1,000 naira, then you have no excuse. You have no excuse. I've really tried for you. If I don't have for 1,000 naira at this moment, you have no excuse. Why am I saying that you have no excuse? I'll say it again and again. You might say you borrowed your credit to, I mean, for you to be able to, if you are very, very, very poor, you'll be able to raise 1,000 naira within a week. Except you don't have passion for what you want to do. You can, I'm not saying you should borrow, but if you are hungry enough, you will borrow. I have the course there's a the course that the first course I ever bought that changed my life. That's because when there's this particular comedy skit that I watch, and they say people that went to abroad whenever they taste good government, and the guy was shouting, hey, the first time I ever tasted good what do you call it? A paid course. I was like, wow. So this is how this thing is. Because before I used to be a fool. I used to take whenever I see people now, whenever I join free classes and I see what they list there in the paid one. I listed them and now Google and now go on YouTube and I start searching as per smart guy. Now me and one of my friend that we used to think we were smart, so we search and search, and because of that we are trying to maneuver many things. We don't want to start paying because now one of the reasons why I didn't want to pay them. I Number one, I didn't have money, but that's not an excuse. Second main reason is because I've struggled enough. I've struggled for so long and in fact, I've made a lot of research by myself. I have many knowledge by myself that I know, but I don't want to. I've been, let's say it. I don't want another person to take the glory all of a sudden because I felt like I've worked enough to reach that height. So anybody that is coming now should not be. I don't want people to just come and say they want to take the glory. You know how it feels now. So I kept on doing it. Like I will make it by myself so that I will be able to come out and say I made this thing by myself, or I started from. Now everybody is not going to be like that, and even people that did it that way, they suffer so long, like myself. If I made payment on some of those things, the reason why you're making payment is because of the shortcut. It's not like should I say shortcut? Shortcut might looks like wuru style, but it's going to, instead of you going through all this um going to way places you don't know, like just like you walking in a dark place. Yes, you might use your sense and still find yourself at that destination, but you might have entered pit, broken your arms and all that. So why don't you get a touch and just avoid errors and move straight to where you are going to? Now, you having a touch doesn't mean you can still not fall if you're not careful. That is why I say when you buy a course, follow what is written there. Practice it. It is not enough. Even if you buy a 100,000 naira course, $1,000 course, it is not enough. It's not about the price. It's not about the person that is teaching you. It's about what you practice. If you now practice and it does not work, this is when you can point fingers at the person. But if you don't, if you practice and it works, then good for you. And you can also come back and say thank you. I don't mind when you come back and because I gave you this course for 1,000 naira. That means you can come and say, okay, I give you 10,000 naira as appreciation. Oh, that's fine. I like it that way. That's fine. So what is involved in this particular course is for those people coming now. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I'm going to save this chat and this broadcast, and I want to have it upload on YouTube. So it's either you come to my inbox. Yes, you can click on this place and come to my inbox, and I'll send you the link. And I also drop my number later. Okay, let me drop my number for WhatsApp in case you want to reach out to me. 09033211368. 09033211368. Only for WhatsApp. You cannot call because it will not go. So the content we are going to have in the book here is number one, what make a man poor. Number two, how to overcome money scarcity. Number three, how do you make money with your brain? Number four, 10 things to consider before making money with your brain. Number five, the kind of information that sells faster. Number six, how to create your product. Number seven, 11 powerful ways to promote the product that guarantees you 6 to 7 figures. Number eight, how to keep making money without your presence. Yes, that's very important because you don't need to be there every time, every time, every time. You don't need to be there every time. Then the last one, how to sell other people's brain work in a legal way. Now, this is not like you are you are going against the law. They now have to arrest you for that. This is a very legal way. Everything is being taught in this class. All of it is taught for 1,000 naira. At the moment though, at the moment, because anytime from now I can, because people are already, most of my guys, most of my friends are already on my neck telling me, some of my friends are telling me this is so, and also I'm also having this feeling every time and then that this is so small, so I need to increase the price. So what I'll do is that for now I'll make the price 1k. I don't know. I can decide to make it next 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Just when I decide the next price I want to put there. But for now, you can take chances and do it for 1k. But if you are listening to it, maybe you listen to it later and the price have increased, just pay the price that's been written there. I will not tell you the price has been increased to, but it will not, might not be like, it might not likely be 2k that you are thinking of, because I know how much other people are charging. Other people are charging way far than how much um I'm going to charge you. Yes, far than how much I'm going to charge you. I don't want to also mention because I should not look like I'm spoiling other people. So I let me even mention some people I've seen people charge 10k, 20, 40. Yes, 40. And I'm definitely sure that this one that is even in this course might be more what I say is might be more value packed than the other ones that are selling 40k. But there's still one thing we all have. If the price is just too small, that's one of the reasons why I'm reconsidering having the I'm reconsidering increasing the price. So in case you meet up with this and the price has been increased, I'm sorry, I have to do that because um is to this is just an offer. This is an offer because it's too small. It's too small. What I want to do is that if you are going to, this is just like if you make purchase now, send me your review about the book. This is to generate a review. So when I figure out the price, next price, I will increase it and it will be that price. And I will not so guarantee that that will be the static price. But for now, this is 1k. So everything you need to know about sex. Because if you think everything we just explain, because I knew I drop a lot of expo there. I knew I drop a lot of, and it was intentional. Because if you think you are smart, this is everything I need to know. You might stay long, or you think you need to gather and watch hundreds of thousands of YouTube videos. Well, you can go ahead and start waiting. That money you are going to waste on MB, just save it and buy this course. It will, I'm telling you the fact, it will help you. This is every most of the things I'm writing here are from personal experience. And this one I don't personal experience are from experience of people that have. So it is practical. It's a very short, it's about 44 pages or so. So it's a very practical and a very short report this thing. So I'll hand over to Mrs. Miss Chisom. I'm going to hand over to Miss Chisom right now. The link, she will drop it in the group chat. I can't see where to do it right here. So maybe she's going to do that. And you also have to click on it and make purchase. But if you can't do it, just remember the number I called, and you can also save this broadcast so that you can listen to it again and reach out to me. I'll be here to always answer you. So, Miss Chisom, over to you.
All right, thank you so much, sir, for this packaged class. And then imagine getting all these, good stuffs for free. So there's a question here, and the
Okay.
question here is how what do from what you said, how to make money. How can I discover what I can do, to make money? You talked about, several people coming up with ideas. How can I come up with my own idea? Like, how do I come up with an idea to, to sell?
Okay, that's very good. Okay, like I said, I mentioned that before, which is that particular thing you know how to do, you find very easy to do, but other people don't find it easy. That particular thing is your own product. You can develop it as an idea. You can work on it and bring it out. For instance, people, do you know that people create course on how to deal with a stubborn child? And most of the times, maybe because these are coming from personal experience. A mother that has a stubborn child, or a young guy, young lady, sorry, that has has been a teacher of stubborn students, and I've asked a couple of them, and I've gotten good results from it. A lot of things that we have done that has been successful. I know that there are things that you've done that people just say, people say wow, and you're like, oh, is it a big deal? Yeah, for instance, I draw, and whenever people see my drawings, they'll be like, wow, and I'm like, okay, that was fine, right? Because to me it was like, this is nothing now, but to them it's a big deal. So if I charge for it, they will pay. Now the only thing now left for you to do is that you need to know how to put value in your product. I told someone that a particular product, when we want to increase the price, this is what it looks like. This is like an expo. This is one most of the girls are hiding. I'm holding a cup here, right here. So if I want to sell this cup for 4,000 naira, and people will buy, number one is that I will increase my own value. There are different ways of doing it. Is either I increase my own value, or I increase the value of this cup, or the environment of the cup. So how do I increase my own value? Like if Woloshenka, or okay, let me use for him. If Woloshenka, let's say he happens to sell a cup for this particular cup for 5,000 naira. Do you know that people will buy it? Plenty, a lot of people will buy it. If we have a crowd of 1,000 people, or let's say um 10,000 people in the PC. You might be asking yourself why should he buy it? The same reason why he will not buy this. Why comedians are charging 500 naira 500,000 per seat in their comedy show, and people and that particular hall is still filled up. That's the same reason why they should buy it, because it's because of that particular person. It's not because of the laughter is different. It's because of the value placed on that person. Second is that if I want to place a value on this cup. That means the cup must be doing something extra than other cup are doing. So I can say, okay, this particular cup, when you are not drinking the water, when you turn it upside down, the water inside will not pour away. Or let's say this cup, when you put water inside, if you want a cold water, you tap this red button and it will generate a cold water for you. When you tap this green button, hot water, that is an extra value added onto it. So when I say this cup is 5,000, people will understand. Oh, this is the reason. If I say, if I'm selling based on who I am, oh, this is because it's I this one, but that is why I'm selling this so amount of money. If I want to, another one is experience based on when you go to cinema house, when you go to viewing center, and they they sell a popcorn of how much you sell it around there. We sell some of them, let's say highest 100 naira, 200 naira. And when you get there, they'll serve you same popcorn, they sell it 1,000, 1,500. And you bring out the money and buy. The reason is because one, it is not because they increase, that's because they've increased the price of corn, or neither because the popcorn has another nutrient it's going to give you, or because the popcorn has or because of the value of the place has increased. No, it's because of the experience you are having that place. You are having a good experience which you don't want to spoil your mood. You are watching, maybe you went out with your loved one and you are seeing a movie, and you want to enjoy yourself. You out of that that pleasure, you will bring out the money. So these are the three ways of putting prices on your products. In fact, I think I've given enough for what you ask. So you definitely look from what you that unique thing you can do, which other people cannot do, is what you should need to start. It's an idea which you need to develop on and turn to a product. So the other one which I mentioned is how to place your price on it, which is one of my courses. I do that one. That costs 1,000. It's 1,500 on seller. So if you want that course, that's close that sale. The different things you need to do, and how to say what you need not to say to make people to buy a particular product. So it's there. All of this is there, and this is what people have put and apply. People are companies like Apples and other companies that sell expensive products. They are they are doing this same thing, and they are making money from it. Hope I answered the question very well. Hello.
Oh yes, you did. Yes, you did. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. So thank you everyone for you know being here, and also we've come to the end of today's section. Though I'm noticing that I can't send a chat here. I don't know why, but just Mr. Isaac called out his number, his WhatsApp number, and you can always send him a message here too, and he would respond. And so, just as he said, this ebook is at a still away price, and you can't imagine how valuable this ebook is. Just with this the free one I got, and I was wowed already. So you can't imagine how loaded the main work is. So I'm just here to tell you that you doing this, you're doing yourself a favor. You're doing yourself a favor. You are doing yourself a very good favor. So this is the end of today's class. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Please kindly call your number too, so that people can reach out to you too.
Okay. My number is +234 8111 +234 8111 22 1466. I'll take it again. +234 8111 22 1466. All right.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.